What's up, everybody? Josh Osborne from Osborne McCarty. As you can tell, this is not one of our normal videos. There's no fancy graphics or awesome hardcore music blaring in the background. You're just getting me tonight. Let me explain the situation. Saturday, we watched UFC 104. Sunday, I hit the road for business in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's actually where I'm at right now. As you can tell, I'm in a Kendallwood Suites. And bring up the old laptop. Haven't checked email in a couple days. And there's 150 messages in the old inbox, and a huge portion of those are demanding to know what our thoughts were on the Machida Shogun fight. Normally that doesn't happen. I mean, we obviously get, post-fight responses and things like that from people, but not of this magnitude. And we get a lot of people asking for post-fight videos from us after every UFC event, but unfortunately, between family and work schedules, between me, Matt, and Jared, we usually have one night a week to be able to get together to do stuff, and we could put out a post-fight video, but it might be, a week later after the event, and, attention and interest in the fight kind of wanes after it's been, that long. So that's kind of why we haven't done it. This one we're obviously making an exception. Whip out the old flip video here to be able to put my thoughts out there. I wish Matt and Jared were here with me, because I would like to hear what they have to say too. I've talked to them just for a little bit about this event. But tonight, you're getting just my opinion, so any hate comments you want to throw out there, please direct them at me, because they are not here to defend themselves. You're just kidding me. Okay, UFC 104, main event. We could talk about the other fights, but I know you don't want to hear about that. Main event, Shogun Machida. Now, I watched this fight over at the house of my sensei from karate and a bunch of our black belt students. And I'll just be straight up honest with you. We really thought Shogun had won that fight. Not so much from the fight that he put forward as much as the just lackluster fight that Machida had put forward. I don't think he deserved to win the fight because he just didn't throw that much offense out there. And I know Machida is usually a counter striker. We're used to that kind of thing, but it's very obvious in the last few rounds that Machida either couldn't or wouldn't do anything to try to finish that fight. Now, a lot of the talk on the message boards and things that I've read online with comments is that Shogun absolutely schooled or destroyed Machida. I don't believe that's the case at all. I believe one of the fighters won 3 rounds and one of the other fighters won 2 rounds. My personal opinion was that Shogun won 3 of those 5 rounds. The judges didn't see it that way. Is there any shenanigans or fight fixing going on? I do not believe so. And I would advise or just plead with you MMA fans out there not to talk that way, because we're working so hard to show MMA as a legitimate sport. If fight fixing starts coming into it, it's really going to give MMA in general, not just the UFC, a bad name. I don't believe that's the case at all. A lot of people want to put blame on Dana White, but Dana White is said publicly that he believes Shogun had won the fight, and that he wants to put a rematch together as soon as possible. That's not the things you're going to hear from somebody that's fixing fights. So please clear that out of your head. If you want to put any blame anywhere, in my personal opinion, you got to put it on this scoring system, not even on the judges specifically. The judges did see the fight the same way. I mean, they did unanimously give it to Machida. Sure, a round or two varied between the different judges on who they gave it to, but it was scored for Machida based on a set of rules that they're following. So again, I think you should put blame on the scoring system. If you watch some of our old videos, we've talked many times about the flaws in the system. Just to give you a quick example, takedowns are scored way too highly. You get wrestlers who win decisions based on the takedown that they got and not from any offense that they actually executed after that point. That's when you get a lot of the lay and praying going on. And, you get the ref to come over there and he'll say, come on, I'm going to stand it up. And then you get the wrestler to throw out a hammer fist or do something real quick just to keep the ref from standing it up. But that's all they do. And to me, I don't believe it's fair. I think, a takedown, sure, should score points, but not as many as they're giving. Now, taking that back to the Machida Shogun fight, it's very possible, I'm just throwing this out there, this isn't, a matter of fact by any stretch, but it is possible that the leg kicks that Shogun was using so effectively were not scored, excuse me, as high as the punches that Machida was able to get in at various times in the fight. And that could be why that 1 round difference that separated them went to Machida and not to Shogun. Again, personally, I feel Shogun did enough to win the fight, and Machida didn't deserve to win the fight just from his lack of offense, especially in the later rounds. I think that's mainly due to the leg kicks that Shogun used. He really chopped down Machida's legs, cut down his mobility. He was not able to be light on his feet and sidestep and keep that distance like he usually could. So yeah, you could put some blame on who was scoring what and how many points they were given to leg kicks versus punches. Some of the other blame I'd actually give to the cornermen that were cornering both Shogun and Machida. If you watch the fight, both of the corners were telling their fighter that they were winning the fight, and because of that, they kept doing what they were doing, which was okay, but I don't think it was enough to really decisively show a winner. And you see that a lot of the time. I don't know if these cornermen are purposely trying to sabotage their fighters or just keep their spirits up, but if you really feel your fighter is winning, that's fine, but don't just say that every round just for the heck of it. I think Machida's corner specifically should have been telling him, hey, you're losing this fight, whatever you're doing is not working, you need to, show a little bit more, go for something, change the strategy. And Shogun's corner probably should have said, look, this is a close fight, you're probably winning, but let's make this decisive. You've cut him down, especially that last round. Machida was very flat-footed. He was not able to be mobile at all like he was in the beginning. That should have been Shogun's perfect opportunity to be able to go in there and really land something devastating to show that he deserved to win that fight. Now, in the future, I think some of the scoring changes that could help stop things from this like this from happening is to quit this round-by-round decision stuff. It really just complicates it. If you got to keep that particular system, I think the judges need to be able to hand out 10-10 rounds, 10-8, even 10-7 rounds. That way, if there is any tying or if it's close up, maybe a round where a fighter dominated a little bit more or a lot more could be that 1 or 2 point difference that really makes a clear-cut winner. Another change that I think might help is what Pride had done and Dream is doing. They're scoring the fight as a whole, not just round by round. If you go on a whole, there's no way you can't give that fight to Shogun. And this is coming from, obviously, a karate guy who, like Machida, if you watch the video, I have my freaking gi on, so I hope I'm coming across as being well-rounded and open-minded about this. But a few little changes probably would have been made it easier for the judges to give it to the right person. Now, with all that being said, again, guys, please do not go overboard on the conspiracy theory stuff with this. Again, we're trying to give MMA a good name. The one good thing about this is there is going to be a rematch with these guys. So if you feel Machida won or you feel Shogun won, it doesn't really matter at this point because these guys are going to fight again. Nobody else is getting a shot at that light heavyweight title until these guys get to go at it again. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. The big hiccup in the situation right now is that Machida has a medical suspension for 60 days, and I think the soonest he could possibly fight with the proper time allowed for training would be in March. So if that's as soon as it could happen, by all means, let's have it. And I think this is the only way that we can get a clear-cut winner, and everybody who's a fan of either guy will feel like their fighter had a good chance to be able to show who was the clear title holder, who won that fight, who lost it. So it is going to happen. Dana White has made it specific, so that is a good thing. Let's focus on that, and let's not keep going over and over the fight and listing specific details over and over again, because it's not going to get anybody any further. We need to see a rematch, bottom line.